Uh, Virgo. Strange. That is the word that kept surfacing when I settled into this collective's energy today, and I want to honor it with the specificity it carries rather than smoothing it into something more comfortable. Strange, not as alarming. Strange, as in something is happening that does not fit the expected pattern. That defies the explanation your rational mind has been reaching for. That has a quality to it in the texture of recent interactions, in the slightly off quality of certain dynamics, in the specific and hard to name feeling that the surface of your situation is not accurately representing what is happening beneath it, that your instincts have been registering without yet being able to locate. Precisely, your instincts are right. Something is happening behind your back. And what makes it strange, what gives it the particular quality that Spirit is pressing me to deliver today, is that it is not what you would expect, is not the dark thing that behind your back sometimes implies, is something considerably more interesting than that. Take what is yours today. What resonates, let it settle the unease that the strange quality of recent events has been producing. What does not, release it gently. But for those of you who have been feeling it that specific, can't quite place it awareness that the invisible world around you is more active than the visible one, is suggesting this reading is for you. Let me speak about the nature of what is happening, because strange without context is simply unsettling, and the purpose of this reading is not to unsettle but to illuminate, to take the strange and make it legible, to give the hidden activity behind your back a shape and a quality that allows you to understand it rather than simply feel the unease of not understanding it. Soft sigh. What is happening behind your back is a conversation. Several conversations actually running in parallel in different rooms between different people that all share the same subject. You, not in the damaging way, in the specific, animated, I need to talk about this way that people discuss someone who has affected them in a way they have not yet fully processed. Who has produced something in them, an impression, a reaction, a quality of feeling that needs the external processing of conversation before it can be integrated into understanding. You have done something to people recently, not through a specific action, through the simple, unrepeatable act of being what you are in proximity to them. And what you are has been producing in the private conversations. You are not present for a specific and consistent quality of response. The response of people who have encountered something they were not expecting, who are comparing notes on that encounter, who are trying to find the language for what they felt when they were in your presence and finding in the comparison that their experience was not unique, that others felt it too, which makes it not a personal idiosyncrasy, but something about you, something real and consistent and not dependent on the particular susceptibilities of any single person. That something is extraordinary. I want to say it directly. The word is exact, and I am using it precisely. What people are finding in the conversations behind your back is that what you carry, what you project, what exists in the field around you simply by virtue of being you is extraordinary, not ordinary with some notable qualities. Extraordinary in the specific sense of something that falls outside the ordinary range of what is encountered. That requires the conversations to process precisely because the ordinary frameworks for understanding people and their impact are insufficient for what you are producing. And the strangeness you have been sensing, the slightly off, something is different quality of recent interactions, is the surface vibration of those conversations. The way the invisible activity behind your back is making itself felt in the texture of what is visible, in the quality of how people look at you, in the specific warmth or the specific care or the specific attentiveness that certain people are bringing to their interactions with you, attentiveness that has a quality of preparation to it, of someone who has been thinking about you before they arrived at the interaction, who brought something to the encounter that the encounter itself did not generate. Oh, now let me speak about the other dimension of what is strange, because the conversations are one layer and they are significant. But Spirit is pressing a second layer forward today that carries a different quality, a more personal one, more directly connected to a specific person rather than to the broader field of people responding to your presence. There is someone, and I feel them in the energy of this collective, with a specificity that tells me this is not a general impression, but a located one who is doing something in relation to you that you would describe as weird, if you knew about it. Not weird in the concerning sense, weird in the endearing, slightly embarrassing, I would not want them to know I did this sense. The specific category of behavior that feelings produce when they are large enough to require action, but not yet ready to be declared openly. The private, unnecessary, nobody asked me to do this behavior of someone who is carrying something significant for you and finding in the smallness of private acts a way to honor what they cannot yet say. They are doing things for you that you do not know about. Small things. Things that would cost them nothing to not do, that serve no strategic purpose, that produce no visible reward, that are not witnessed by anyone who could offer the validation of having been seen, being thoughtful. Private acts of care, of the specific, unperformative, this is simply what I feel kind that only happens when the feeling is genuine and the person carrying it has no audience to perform for. Who does the thing simply because the feeling insists on some expression, however small, however invisible, and the private act is the form that expression takes when the public one is not yet available. That is the weird thing happening behind your back. Someone caring for you in the dark, without your knowledge, without expectation of acknowledgement, simply because the caring exists and needs somewhere to go. Soft sigh. Now, I want to speak about what Spirit is also bringing through, because the behind your back activity today is not only positive, there is a layer that requires a different quality of attention, not alarm discernment, the specific, clear eyed, I will see what is actually their discernment that allows you to separate the genuine from the strategic in a field where both are present. Not everyone whose interest has been activated by you has your well being as their primary motivation. Some of what is moving in the invisible world around you is genuine, the conversations of people genuinely affected, the private care of someone genuinely feeling, and some of it carries a different quality. The quality of someone monitoring rather than genuinely caring, tracking rather than connecting, who has been paying attention to what you are doing, to the changes in you, to the emergence that others are responding to with a motivation that is more about their own positioning in relation to you than about genuine care for who you are. You will know the difference when it becomes visible. That is the specific reassurance Spirit is offering today. Not that you need to investigate or identify or expose, but that when what has been happening behind your back surfaces as it always eventually surfaces, your own discernment will be adequate to the task of distinguishing the genuine from the strategic, the care from the monitoring, the real from the performed. Trust that discernment. It has been calibrated by everything you have been through, and it is more reliable than the strange quality of recent events has perhaps been allowing you to feel confident in. Uh, Now, let me bring together what all of this means: the conversations, the private care, the discernment required into something you can actually carry out of this reading and into the practical texture of your days. The strange quality you have been sensing is real. It is not your imagination. It is not anxiety manufacturing significance in ordinary events. It is your perception accurately registering the surface effects of genuine invisible activity, a field that is considerably more alive with movement and energy and response to your presence than the calm surface of your daily interactions has been suggesting. Your instincts have been telling you that more is happening than you can see. They were right. More is happening than you can see. And most of it, the overwhelming majority of what is moving in the invisible world around you right now, is moving in your favor. In favor of the emerging version of you, of the fuller expression of who you are that has been becoming visible in the recent period, of the specific and extraordinary quality of your presence, which the conversations behind your back are confirming from multiple independent directions, is real and consistent and not a product of favorable conditions, but of something genuine and inherent. You are affecting people more than you know. In the private conversations, in the small acts of care being performed in your absence, in the quality of attention being brought to you by people who have been thinking about you before the interaction began, in the invisible field of response and reaction and genuine human feeling that your presence is generating quietly without your orchestration, simply as the natural result of being what you are at the level you are currently operating at. Soft sigh. The weird thing happening behind your back is not something to fear. It is something to receive with the grounded, self possessed, I know what I carry quality of someone who is finally fully inhabiting their own impact, who is allowing the evidence of that impact, however strange the form it takes to reach them, who can stand in the awareness of being cared for and discussed and responded to in the invisible world without either dismissing it or being destabilized by it. Simply acknowledging it as real as yours, as the natural and entirely appropriate response of a world that is encountering something worth responding to. Something weird is going on behind your back. And the weird thing in all its invisible, unexpected, entirely about you complexity is good. More good than the strange quality of its surface has been suggesting. More real than the rational mind's preference for the explainable has been allowing you to fully receive. Receive it today. The conversations, the private care, the invisible field of genuine human response to what you are. All of it. As the evidence it is of something extraordinary operating in your life that the visible surface has been too small to fully contain. Uh, Something is happening behind your back, and it is yours. If this reading found you at exactly the right moment, if something here gave language to the strange quality you have been sensing and confirmed that the sensing was accurate, stay close. Subscribe and come back, because the story of what the invisible world has been building in your favor, and when it finally surfaces completely, is one worth witnessing all the way through. And the next reading will be there for every step of the revealing.